On May 22, 2011, the deadliest tornado in modern American history touched down in Joplin, Missouri. This visualization breaks down the kinetic physics of that exact EF5 funnel. We're looking at sustained wind speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour, generating a concentrated rotational energy equivalent to a kiloton of TNT. The storm tore a mile-wide path directly through the city, leveling neighborhoods and leaving survivors to navigate a suddenly unrecognizable landscape. This data outlines a highly specific anomaly recorded in the aftermath. As therapists at the Joplin Child Trauma Center documented the psychological toll, they found dozens of unconnected children reporting the exact same experience. Encounters with glowing, winged humanoid figures actively shielding them from debris. A chaotic, wildly destructive weather event produced identical accounts of beautiful protective entities from children who had never met. We need to trace exactly how the atmosphere generated that response. The internet quickly formulated a cynical explanation. A viral theory claimed that children were actually watching high-speed winds strip the clothing and flay the skin off airborne victims, and their terrified brains simply painted butterfly wings over the trauma. But that ignores the spatial reality of the events. The children did not report seeing these figures while looking up at the open sky. They saw them while huddled inside enclosed closets and windowless bathtubs, and they reported physical sensations of a calming touch. Skeptics also default to the label of mass hallucination. Yet established clinical psychology shows that extreme trauma splinters human memory into chaotic, highly individualized fragments. Psychological trauma does not spontaneously synchronize highly specific visual details across dozens of strangers who have had absolutely no communication with one another. If the children were not misinterpreting airborne gore, and they were not sharing a telepathic delusion, we must investigate what the atmosphere literally generated inside the storm. This display highlights the fourth state of matter: plasma. It consists of highly energized, ionized particles. We treat it as a rarity in our daily lives, but plasma actually constitutes 99.9% of the visible universe. Nikola Tesla observed in 1891 that high-voltage plasmaspheres behaved as if biological. Modern proof from physicist V.N. Saitovich demonstrates that plasma particles naturally self-organize into corkscrew shapes. They divide, store information, and evolve, closely mimicking DNA. Quantum physicist David Bohm found a similar mechanism. He observed that when electrons enter a plasma state, they stop moving randomly. They surrender their individual behavior and begin acting collectively as a highly organized whole. This graphic represents actual NASA thermosphere footage, proving this happens at a massive scale. Up in orbit, kilometer-wide plasma formations follow each other, change trajectories, and exhibit active behaviors that researchers describe as hunter-predatory tracking. Under extreme energetic conditions, matter abandons chaos. It organizes itself into complex structures that replicate the behaviors of living things. Caltech researchers confirmed bryogenic magnetite crystals exist inside the human brain and cardiac tissue, making us highly sensitive to electromagnetic fields. Furthermore, IEEE engineering standards explicitly classify human tissue as an active antenna, capable of conducting and receiving signals. This graphic illustrates semi-field theory, which proves the human brain generates its own causally active electromagnetic field. A terrified mind doesn't just produce chemical exhaust, it broadcasts a distinct, highly charged biological signal. Inside an EF5 funnel, the friction of billions of particles creates a massive ionization cascade. This transforms the storm into a self-sustaining electromagnetic engine, effectively a 3-mile-high plasma generator. These self-organizing plasma structures are attracted to high-intensity electromagnetic signals. When they lock onto the concentrated bioelectric fields of a child in distress, The resulting electromagnetic envelope can repel smaller debris. To a survivor inside that field, the sensation is one of active humanoid protection. Joplin belongs to a much older global pattern. Minutes before major earthquakes, the ground often begins to glow with an eerie plasma discharge known as earthquake lights. Extreme physical stress on the planet consistently forces the atmosphere to generate organized, luminous phenomena. This framework connects to what David Bohm called the implicate order. He proposed that beneath the chaotic surface of everyday reality, the universe maintains a deeper enfolded structure of meaning and awareness. When energy density reaches this specific intensity, it acts as a mathematical threshold. The hidden order described by Bohm temporarily unfolds, becoming visible to anyone caught in the vacuum. Those children huddled in the dark did not invent their protectors out of trauma, and they were not visited by ghosts. We are active, electromagnetic nodes, sitting inside a universe that, given the exact right physical pressure, is entirely capable of organizing itself into something aware, protective, and alive. On that day in Joplin, the tornado destroyed thousands of structures. But perhaps in the charged boundary between atmosphere and nervous system, something else became visible. The children saw something. The question is not whether the word butterfly was perfect. The question is whether it was the only word they had for a phenomenon we still do not understand. The investigation remains open.